Good morning and welcome to Launch Your Week. It's great to be with you. First day of February, 1/12 of 2021 is behind us. We're going to start a new day. Today I begin that new life. Let's take it on for Monday. What a great time to start a month on a Monday. A couple of weeks ago, Ramona and I were thinking about life and we thought, we just need a little bit of downtime together to snuggle up and watch a good movie. And we decided to watch the Star Wars saga, all 9 episodes, right? Well, we finished the last one last night and talk about the antithesis. This is the demonstration of love at its highest level and darkness at its darkest level. What a great movie to have watched to prepare me to have a conversation with you about the power of love. Think about Anakin and how he came around at the very end. Ben, he came around at the very end. Of course, Palpatine, he was beyond help. So Og says in scroll 2, he says, with love I can melt all hearts like into the sun whose rays soften the coldest clay. Well, if there's mental illness, then it's going to be, and I'd be careful with that statement. I mean, I'm talking about the psychopath when I say that, not someone who's struggling with other issues. Psychopath. When someone's a psychopath, the principles of love sometimes are off the table because they don't have the capacity to really understand it. Now I'm going to get myself in trouble, I know, with some of the comments that are going to come as a result of saying that, but just focus on the principle here of the darkness of Palpatine and at the very end, and the light and love that's in Rey, the last Jedi. Just be with that for a moment. Now, I love movies. I can't help it. There are great examples in life as well, but sometimes those mythical characters are fun to examine. Now, I want to put us in a very special place. It's about 10 o'clock at night. Og sitting in his IBM Selectric typewriter with autocorrect, the white tape. There's no cut and paste. He just finished scroll 1, and he's ready to dive into the meat of the scroll, starting with, today I'll greet this day with love in my heart. I can tell you that when he finished writing all 10 scrolls and collapsed on the bed the next morning, right after he proclaimed to Betty that it's done, slept for 12 hours, that of all the 10 scrolls, this is the only one that Betty asked him to amend. Why? Og understood this. He was getting inspiration about this. And what he wrote was a little complicated for 1967. That's when he wrote it, published in 68. But it's not too complicated for us. Love has become a misunderstood word. We've got Greeks with multiple names for love, like eros, erotic love, and Pia, maternal love, philo, brotherly love, just to name 3 of them. But the highest of all of them was agape. Agape, a heightened level of awareness. Now, agape was translated into the English word charity. We find that in the King James Version, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Don't be offended if the Bible's not part of your life. It's okay. I'm just mentioning that translation came from agape, the Greek agape. That was changed just to the word love. And with it, some of the depth. When we go back to the original Greek and we take a look at this word agape, and we look at an Indian word, genshai, Genshai, which is the application of agape, it's never make anyone feel small, including yourself. That's genshai. Agape is an awareness of that person so we don't make them feel small. And as we discover in scroll 2, I'll greet this day with love in my heart, Og divides the scroll into 2 parts. Agape for others, agape for self. Now, I've asked numerous people I've invited to read the scrolls to tell me what they heard in scroll 2, and rarely do they talk about the second half. Agape for oneself, genshai, the practice of never making us feel small, and Og defined it so beautifully. We'll get there in just a few moments. So we're looking at this scroll. Betty makes him water it down just a little bit. She's a wonderful editor. She just says, it's got to be understood by everybody to be valuable. And he did. And in it, we discover that to understand it, we must live it. It's in the living of this scroll that we begin to discover the depth in the words that Og wrote. He saved all the nuggets, but they're all hidden behind the actions. So let's take a look at this, starting with, I'll greet this day with love in my heart. Muscle can split a shield. Think about Star Wars, right? And the laser sword. Muscle can split the shield and even destroy life. From a practical standpoint, and less traumatic, could be just our need to be right, to be opinionated. We need to be right. We make them wrong. We crush their self-esteem, even inadvertently. But muscle can split a shield and even destroy life. It could kill somebody, but it can also suck the life out of them. It's like died at 45, buried at 75, right? But only love, agape, this heightened level of awareness, can open the heart. And until I master this art, what's the art? The ability to open the heart. And when I learn how to open the heart, to focus on the other person, to have this awareness about them, this curiosity about what's important to them, to listen to them, to create a safe place for them, to leave them feeling understood without giving advice or trying to fix them. When I do that, their walls come down, their heart opens, and their energy and cooperation flood out. Until I master this art, I'm no more than a peddler in the marketplace. We show up in all of our junk, right? And we're talking to someone just enough to kind of get our agenda in, or we're jumping on them like a fox on a mouse, or we're trying to close a sale. Whatever may be the case, we are not opening the heart. And frankly, the most powerful people we'll want to invite into our world sometimes have the biggest walls. What does that mean? Only weak people succumb to force. That's an interesting piece. If you've got a business that requires you to invite other people into that business and transfer skill sets and build your business, do you want it to be filled with weak people who succumb to a powerful personality that need to be right? Do you really want those people who are willing to follow this? Or do we want to show up in love, making it about them, empowering them, which means to have them stand in their power, EM, stand in power, to encourage, to add to their heart, and to inspire, which is to breathe life into them? Are we more focused on empowering and inspiring and encouraging, or just enrolling? Consider that if you're in a home-based business. We don't want to be a salesman, the wagon with the pans jingling, out there being a peddler in the marketplace. Now, Og makes it very clear when he says, my reasoning they may counter, my speech they may distrust, my apparel they may disapprove, and my face they may reject. Even my bargains may cause them suspicion. Yet, my love, my agape, showing up, truly seeing their need, truly showing up to serve them, to lift them, to build them, will melt all hearts, likened to the sun whose rays soften the coldest clay. That's so poetically written. Og could have said, softens the coldest heart. No, he said it so beautifully. And then he asks, how will I do this? How? And we find buried in this next paragraph one of the most powerful principles about love. I'll share it with you and see if we can go deeper. Henceforth, I will look upon all things with agape, this heightened level of awareness, and I'll be born again. We have a challenge. Oh, what am I to learn? How is this going to help me be more empathetically prepared to serve another? Can you feel the difference between that and going to resistance and resentment and frustration? And then he says this, I will love the sun, for it warms my bones. Who doesn't love the sun? Yet I will love the rain, for it cleanses my spirit. What rain have you experienced that is humbling, that just cleans out some of that awfulness and purifies our soul? I will love the light, for it shows me the way, yet I'll love the darkness, for it shows me the stars. I've written about this. Today I begin a new life. So we were pulling away from our dream home at the end of 1989. And I'm just bawling. And Ramona is over there in the van with 7 children coming behind the 2 moving trucks, and the kids are all bouncing in the seats, singing camp songs. She understood this principle. She understood this principle. Because sometimes, this is going to be tough for some to hear. Sometimes we're so focused on success, and the sunlight of success shines so brightly that we don't see the stars in our lives. The stars are the diamonds, the most precious things. For me, that was Ramona, our children. I was so committed to creating things for them, I thought, but they were really things for me, at the expense of being available for them. Oh, would the next 10 years teach me some great lessons. So we love the darkness, for it shows us the stars. I will welcome happiness, for it enlarges my heart. Isn't it wonderful when everything's beautiful and happy? Yet I will endure sadness, for it opens my soul. Gil Gibran talks about this, that our heart and our ability to experience joy is in direct proportion to the depth with which our heart has been harrowed out by sorrow. That was painful, but it made room for such joy. I'll acknowledge rewards for them I do, yet I will welcome obstacles. Are you kidding me, Og? Welcome obstacles? For they are my challenge. Why would we welcome obstacles? Because they are our teachers. Phil Stutzenberry Michael says that if we want to stop having this pain, we're asking for our education to cease. Do we want to grow, become all that we're meant to be, or do we just want a whole bunch of stuff so we feel better about ourselves? Do we want to be exonerated from pain? Or do we realize that pain, those challenges, are our teacher? How is this paragraph filled? Now I want to take you to the real secret of the paragraph. You ready? Those life experiences when the rain comes, and the darkness comes, and the challenges come, and the pain comes. Those are our greatest assets. Og knew this. How can I love Think about this. He doesn't make it clear. He just says, okay, this is how I'm going to look on things. But what does that do? It empathetically prepares us so that when we're connecting with another human being and listening, we can hear things nobody else hears. We can ask questions nobody else would dare ask because we can feel it. Well, we've let go of the shame and the pain. We're just feeling, wow, I wonder if they're feeling what I'm feeling. I wish it were that conscious at times, but sometimes we just feel it. And we courageously ask the question, and we see the person go, oh, finally, someone understands me. That's why this paragraph is so powerful. And all that we learn about love, how have you been uniquely prepared to serve others? And will you in fact find the creation of your dreams in the service of others? And I say yes. You can't do this alone. We do it always with others. Or some just kill people and stand on them. What joy would there be standing on the tallest mountain of dead people versus everybody standing on everybody's shoulders? Can you feel that difference? I just love this paragraph. How will I speak? I'll laud my enemies, and they'll become friends. I'll encourage my friends, and they'll become brothers. Always will I dig for reasons to applaud. Powerful piece. Now, with love, I'm just going to skip to a couple key phrases. With love, I will tear down this wall of hate and suspicion which they built around their heart, right? In its place, I'll build a bridge so that my love can enter their soul. Wow. We take down this wall, we build the bridge, our love enters their soul, and now they're inspired, empowered, and encouraged to do likewise. What we do is like a rock hitting a pond and rippling out forever. Let us tear down those walls and build those bridges. Now we go to one that's so important for our day, and that is what I call arrow, spear, rocket, bomb. Anybody played this game with another human being? They send an arrow, boom, it pricks your heart. You pull it out, put a little extra poison on it, boom, throw back a spear. That's the end of it. Like heck, they just pull it out of their heart, put a little bit more poison on it, boom, rocket. Pull it out, a little bit more poison, we send back a bomb. Arrow, spear, rocket, bomb. Og's inviting us to use love, this awareness, as a shield. Why? Because when we wear it as a shield, we can, free of our unhealthy habits of thinking, see that person differently. Arrow comes, it hits the shield, is turned into the softest of rain. Why? Because we can see why the arrow might be sent. We can feel what's going on in that person's life. We want to give them a hug, not send back a spear. We want to give them a hug. Can you feel the difference? When we have it as a shield, we're protecting our vulnerable pieces. And we can finally see them. And most of the time, when someone sends an arrow, it's not about you. It's about them. So let's not send back a spear and damage them more, because now hurt, they'll send back the rocket. Now us hurt, we'll send back a bomb. And Og says that if we do this long enough, we one day can set our shield aside and walk unencumbered among all men, and our name will be raised high on the pyramid of life. Think of someone who's high in that pyramid of life, who can walk with this shield down, and those arrows, they have such awareness. The arrows just turn into the softest of rain without awareness, without the shield of love. It's just become their nature. I can't name very many, if any, which means most of us are going to be in a state of awareness, agape love, when we're with people, because we're tender. We have unhealthy habits of thinking, tender spaces. We don't want to walk in without the shield and have our tender spaces get hit, because we'll just react with the spear. No, we want to wear our love when we walk in, because if we walk into the room, walk into the meeting, walk into the negotiation in a space where the arrows will come, but we see them for what they are. And that takes us to the second half of the scroll, which happens to be shorter. But is not everything we've learned so far really about healing us? When we use our painful experiences and listen to another person more empathetically, and the wall comes down, their cooperation and energy flood out, it fills part of that hole in our soul. When we're taking down walls and building bridges and sharing love, we feel better. We are actually healing our own esteem by practicing these principles. And just in case we didn't get it, Og changes the topic to you and me. And most of all, I will love myself. And listen to this definition of self-love. It's not egotistical, it's not self-centric, it's not prideful. Here's the definition of self-love, the best definition I have ever read. For when I love myself, I will zealously inspect all things that enter my body, my mind, my soul, and my heart. Never will I overindulge the requests of my flesh. Rather, I will cherish my body with cleanliness and moderation. So I'll take care of this physical tabernacle. Never will I allow my mind to be attracted to evil and despair. Rather, I will uplift it with knowledge and wisdom of the ages. I'll stay away from things that would feed my mind poison. Never will allow my soul to become complacent and satisfied. Rather, I'll feed it with meditation and prayer. Because when we're in meditation, it's called an alpha state in the brain defrags, all the connections are made, and boom, we get a gamma spike, which is an inspired idea that comes from meditation and prayer. Never will allow my heart to become small and bitter. Rather, I will share it. Hold those experiences in your heart, use them to serve, and it will grow and warm the earth. And he concludes with, if I have no other qualities, I can succeed with love alone. Without it, I'll fail, even though I have all the knowledge and skills of the world. Have some fun with this scroll this week. Let it open you up in the morning to get to your true I am. Now by noon, you'll want to do it again just to get back here in this observer space, the observer's chair of your life. And then just before you go to sleep at night, read it or listen to it and let it seep into your mysterious mind, that mind that never sleeps, and make me act in ways I do not comprehend. Let it feed you this week, both in terms of how you view another and how you view yourself. Blessings, everyone. When we come back next week, we're going to take on persistence. Oh, do we sometimes want that ticket to freedom? I want to be exonerated from pain. And Og puts it in an entirely different perspective in terms of persisting till we succeed. And there are some really beautiful hidden nuggets in that scroll. And I'll be excited to share them with you. Have a blessed day, everyone.